Liver is one of the most nutritious meats on the planet, and it is absolutely delicious if it's prepared well. So in this video, I want to show you how I make my really simple liver and onions. Fast cook time, simple ingredients. This meal comes together in minutes and is absolutely fantastic, especially if you're trying to level up your health game and eat more organ meat. So before I get into the recipe video, check the description box below. All the ingredients are down there, but enough talking, let's get cooking. One of the best parts about liver becoming a more popular food is I can now get it at the supermarket and it's super duper fresh. It's not very pricey at all compared to other beef products. The first step to prepping this liver is we're gonna give it a soak in a little bit of a milk to help remove some of the blood and also tone down a little bit of the gamey metallic flavor that organ meat has. And you can see that I have small pieces and big pieces. We're gonna cut this down into smaller pieces anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's big or small. We're gonna cut them down into bite-size-ish pieces. Now I'm gonna pour in some whole milk into this bowl, just like I'm making a big bowl of cereal. And I'm trying to just cover the liver and let it soak. While this is soaking, I'm gonna prep up some of our ingredients. So once this is done soaking, we can season it and we can head over on the stove and cook it. Now let's cut our onion. We're gonna put one whole onion in here. So we're gonna cut our onion into strips. I like the liver and onion with like long stringy onions. So we're gonna cut the onion across the grains here, nice and thin, and get these nice long strips. Remember, when cutting your onion, always down and away. Flip it around, it's a little easier to handle this way. Boom, and we got our nice long stringy onions. Now we're gonna clip off the root end of these garlic cloves. This is a nice, easy way to peel garlic, is clip off the root end. And then once you get the root end clipped off, just squeeze the garlic gently. It'll crack the skin, and then you can just rub it in between your hands and it'll come right off. We're just gonna crush these down and give them a rough chop. And the last thing we're gonna prep is this parsley. So we're gonna pull the leaves off and just chop them. This is gonna make our fresh herb garnish that we're gonna put on the top of this. And the easiest way to pull parsley is just take your three fingers, your thumb, your index finger, and your middle finger, and just pull the leaves off. Don't believe any of those cooking hacks out there. You can't do it any faster than that. So now let's finish prepping the liver. You can see that the milk is nice and pinkish because it's pulled out a little bit of the blood that's inside the liver. So we'll give it just a little bit of a mix just to clean it up anymore. And now we're gonna take the liver out one piece at a time and we're gonna put it on this paper towel to dry it up a bit before we season it. So I'm just gonna pat dry the top. I don't need to go crazy. It doesn't need to be super dry. Just want to get off any of that excess milk that's still there. So now I'm going to cut this up into some smaller pieces. So they don't need to be super small. I generally go about this size, a couple inches apart. I find that when I cut it down, not only does it sear better, but it also eats a little bit better than eating like the whole big steak. And liver is really delicate compared to other meats, so you don't want to like hack at it. You just want to use the sharpness of the blade to cut right through it. Doesn't need a whole lot of pressure down. And not only is this super nutritious, this meal is so good. It's one of my favorite things to make at home. And one of the reasons I really like to make this at home is because you don't see this on restaurant menus a lot. So now we're gonna season this really simply. I'm gonna take some olive oil and this is gonna get drizzled right over the top. And we're gonna season this with a couple pinches of salt. And some fresh ground black pepper. And I'm just gonna give this a mix with my hands to coat it really well with the olive oil, the salt, and the pepper. So I'm just gonna give this just a light spray of oil. The liver already has oil on the outside of it. So now we're gonna take a bunch of pieces, we'll throw them in there. I'm probably gonna do this in batches to get nice browning. So now I'm going to spread these around the pan so we get nice surface area contact on each one of these. And we're just getting these brown. They don't need to cook through. We're going to finish them at the end. And I want to make sure they're all nice and spread out. And I got this pan pretty hot. Once we got that nice browning on this side, we're going to flip each one of these. And as these brown up on both sides, I'm going to remove them and just put them in this plate. If there's any that I want to brown again on the other side. So out goes the liver. We'll put just a touch more oil. We'll lower the heat down to medium heat, and in go our onions. And now we'll take a flat spatula. We'll move the onions around and help clean up the bottom of the pan. If I notice at any time the pan's looking a little dry, I'll just add a touch more oil. Once these have softened up and are nice and colorful, in goes the garlic. And we'll cook that for just a minute. We don't want the garlic to burn. We do want it to get super fragrant, and you can smell when that happens. It only takes about 30 seconds, 40 seconds for everything to smell like delicious cooked garlic. So now we're going to take some of this white wine vinegar, drizzle a little bit over the top. A little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I can never say that. Let me know in the comment section how you say the big W word. A little pepper. Pinch of salt. A splash of some beef broth. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit to medium-high heat. We're going to let some of this evaporate. And now we're going to put our liver back in, drippings and all. We're going to give this a little bit of a mix and let this simmer for just a couple of minutes for this liver to cook all the way through. No need to cover it. We still have a little bit of liquid in there that needs to evaporate. So we're just going to give this a nice mix so everything is well coated. And then we're just going to let this simmer over a medium heat. So this has been simmering for a few minutes. Most of these look like they're cooked all the way through. The sauce is starting to reduce on the bottom and it's not so liquidy. So I'm going to shut the heat off and we're going to sprinkle some parsley on this. And now some of that parsley that we chopped up before, sprinkle it right over the top. And this dish is good to go. So simple and so delicious. This looks and smells absolutely delicious. I love liver, so I'm super excited to try this. Make sure we're getting nice onions in each one of these. And you can serve this over rice, over mashed potatoes. Maybe you're doing keto and you want to do this with like some roasted vegetables. Everything works here. This is the same recipe that I would use for any type of liver. You can see that we've cooked it all the way through. Let's make sure that we get some of the onions on this because this is called liver and onions. So look at this really nice bite. Nice stringy long onions, sauce, the liver. I don't know where organ meat gets such a bad rap. Maybe some people don't like that gamey flavor. I totally love this. I think this is absolutely delicious. And especially the onions, they soften it up. Soaking it in the milk takes a little way of that metallic flavor. This tastes absolutely unbelievable. And I also find that liver and onions reheats really well. Might be not a very common one, but this could be a great for a couple-day meal prep. Two vegetable dishes that would be amazing sides with this would be my roasted broccoli or my ratatouille. Check out those videos, make those, make this, and I'll see you there. Thanks, bye.